show. You and I were
Don Yelton.
Don Yelton. Remember, you and I were talking before we aired. You and I were talking about Don Yelton, and if I'm not mistaken, you were in the process of telling me a list of what he did wrong on his show.
On the show, he had some production challenges. I think that he will probably cop to. I'm sure himself, but that was a tough show to watch. He had some good guests on, and when they were able to speak at length, it was interesting TV. There were a lot of interruptions.
I was watching mostly from out front, and so I had a lot of distraction there. Was the audio okay? Were you able to hear all of his guests?
The audio was fine.
Good.
The audio was so good that when they took phone calls on the cell phone, you could hear the conversation at the table and the conversation on the telephone.
Okay, because audio is that's my concern. I'm an audio guy. And which brings me to bring it. So we plug our shows, and we plug our things. We plug, and let me plug. I teach the studio class here for studio certification, and that's another thing. Come down, take studio certification, and your last day in my class, we'll go live, and you'll get your feet wet. You'll produce a live show, and then as soon as the next day, you can start doing your own live show from the big studio with all the
that's a professional studio in there.
It's worth a fortune.
More dials than I want to touch.
Right,
it's amazing.
It does cost $35 for the membership to your TV.
That's an amazing bargain. For what you get.
For what you get for your membership fee and stuff like that. Just for the kind of camera equipment that you're able to check out and take out into the field and stuff like that, believe me, you could not begin to. The average guy could not afford to rent the gear that you get for your $35 membership.
It'd be closer to $35 an hour if you were renting and using the software that they have, the facilities.
Right. We have everything here to produce the crazy shows that you see, and the quality of what you see on the tube has more to do with the level of proficiency of the individuals doing it and the amount of time they put into it and all than it does with the equipment they have to work with, because the equipment is here to do a first-rate job that'll hold up against about anything.
For most members who are producing shows, there's also a learning curve for each one of them that you have to get beyond. The first several movies that I made had terrible sound, and I just had to learn from trial and error what happens when you don't do it right up front. You can't fix it in the back.
Exactly, and that's part. See, that's part of why I'm here. Part of my big thrust. Sound is probably our weakest point. For as bad as our videos are, sound is probably the weakest point on everything that goes out.
Yeah.
Over this station sound, and that's why I was asking you about sound. I'm keeping my eye on sound. I'm really focusing on I have a couple of focuses. One is to make the sound quality better. The other is to make it so a lot of people can get on the air. Come down, come to the Tea Party, get on the air. Come and get your own show. This is to be a launching pad for you. This is your door to television. This is your opportunity to express yourself artistically or politically or whatever your thing is, instead of just letting the corporation control every thought that is programmed into the minds of America. At least come and speak to your own community. Right, this is your platform. This is it, and we want to see more artistic things done desperately. But the bottom line is, it is so much fun. If you come and you do this and it's not one of the most fun things you have ever done in your life, then just go home and give up on it. But I'm telling you, it's one of the most fun things you can do.
You really get a sense of accomplishment when you work through a project through its completion and you get it shown on TV. And Jen Mass, was she the program director or program man? She's the one that decides what goes on and when and so on. To be able to produce a show that goes on TV and is shown on a recurring basis for several weeks until something new comes down to the pipeline. is really, that's part of the fun. It's the sense of accomplishment where you've worked hard, you've got that raw footage, you had an idea, you got the raw footage, you went to the studio, you learned how to use the software to make something that you wanted people to see, and then to actually get it put on TV and have it shown right alongside all those other cable channels and news channels and what have you.
More and more people are watching Channel 20 every day. Ever since it began, when I talk to people, I say, because I was one of the first shows on, and I would say, have you seen my show? No. What's it on, Channel 20? What is Channel 20? You know, and so I'm more and more as I talk to people, you know, and people are like, oh, I see the Tea Party. You know, I say, oh, well, you watch public? Oh, yeah, I watch public access. More and more people are watching public access all the time, and I tell people that as awful. I mean, we have some awful shows on here. I'm not trying to play it up. Have you looked at some of the junk we run?
I certainly have.
And
I've seen shows with nothing but pictures of wallpaper and music in the background.
That's the wallpaper project. Well, that's one of our better shows.
That's one of the livelier shows on TV.
Yeah, well, it has a philosophy.
I understand.
Anyway, I don't know if you saw the one with colors. It was Crayola colors. You were supposed to watch that with your back to the TV screen, and you were just supposed to watch it on the wall. The TV shining on the wall.
There are like Tai Chi shows where people learn how to.
Some of those are really good.
Yeah, that's just not my cup of tea, if you will.
You want to like some more?
Speaking of which, I would like a little refresher, if you don't mind.
Okay, it's time for a little refresher.
But yeah, no, there are some pretty awful things, and some of the, you know, I appreciate that some people are going out there and filming concerts, but some of them are pretty tough to watch.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They're dark.
I tell
that sound's not so good.
Sound is one of our worst parts, but I tell people, as awful as they are, I think we're still the best channel on TV.
Yeah, it's all good.
Well, think about it, though. I mean, look at all the other channels that there are to look at, and as awful as we are, aren't we still the best one?
Well, I just think, on principle, it's the best. Because, like I said before, if you don't like what you see, come in and show us how to do it.
Right. Exactly.
Show me where I went wrong.
Come in and produce.
You show me.
Yeah, produce a show, and you'll gain new respect for also you people need to, and people don't understand. If people who watch, come on in. We've been talking. We've been talking about you already, but anyway.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, we gave you
Tim Peck, Richard Bernier.
Hi, Richard. Yeah,
no, we gave you no mercy.
I didn't think
no mercy, but I was about to make some kind of point, and I need to get it done.
URTV, greatest show on earth.
I heard you talking about production.
Yeah, if you there's nothing that will give you respect for someone else's production any more than coming in and come in and produce a show yourself. And some of these other people you've been criticizing, you will learn new respect for them for having done that. The average viewer, when they turn on ABC or any other cable channel, you may not realize, but there are possibly tens of thousands of dollars put into every minute of picture that's being put before your face. We don't have that kind of budget for a month.
No.
You see what I mean? And everybody here is doing this right out of their own time and their own pocket and everything. And the fact that we're able to even get the technical end together and have a TV, we got something moving on the screen and sound coming out of the box, we're doing good.
Well, as a matter of fact, John, you donate or you use your own equipment here just to have the audio.
I do.
Going, you know?
I loan it, but that's something else I wanted to talk to you about. I am so hot to get the real mixer in here.
You're ready.
The audio mixer in here.
We can do it anytime.
Pat wanted me to wait because she wanted to put it in with another order and all this kind of stuff. But I'm not part of the wait. Well, see, she wanted to put it in with another. She's going to get some other equipment, and she thought, well, she'd get a better price on everything if she get it all as a package and all that. But I just want it here. I don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely, just in case something. Yes, I understand.
So if
I understand, be more than happy to help you. You know.
So.
Tim, you don't know me, but I get a lot of email from you. I don't know how I end up getting it.
I expect you do.
I get a lot of email with comments. I kind of already know you without ever meeting you before. you know. So,
Yeah, we're on the same mailing list. I have a mailing list that I have going with about 70 or so people on it, and Richard's on there, among other people. And I try and keep people informed of news, things that are going on. We all do. It's a back and forth thing, and sometimes we actually just give our own opinions about things, and we get a little conversation going. It's a lot of fun.
You know, I have got a big announcement. It's a semi-big announcement. It's not official.
Bombshell.
Okay, let me have this microphone.
We had a big announcement
I have
already.
another big. Oh, what was his? Let me hear it.
Let's have the big announcement
let's hear it
again.
again. Let's hear it
Okay,
again, 'cause
listen
I'm
to
sure.
this.
Okay.
Listen to this announcement.
Okay, for everybody that's just joining us, which all 3 or 4 people who just joined us. No, the announcement was and is that I am announcing that I'm running for city council in the city of Asheville as a libertarian. I'm not with the Libertarian Party, but my political philosophy is libertarian in nature.
Okay. So
And I think that we need a change on city council, and I am running to offer the citizens of Asheville an alternative. Period.
That's an open government, and thank goodness we're in a country where we can do that, right, John?
So he announced on the Tea Party.
Oh, so you're the
That
first
was the big deal.
announcement. All right, well, I have got one.
Okay.
It's not confirmed, but I have made contact, and I'm supposed to find out within the next 2 hours. I have. This is big now. This is big. This is really big.
We're not on TV or anything.
Oh, this is really big.
Okay.
You know, only here at URTV you may get the opportunity to next Wednesday, 4 o'clock to 6:30. I may have a guest that is running for the office of President of the United States of America. I know
So-
you're tongue-tied, John. I can tell. You're wondering who could it be.
Well, I'm not sure that's as big as having Muppets.
Well, that's true.
Not that guy from under the Lexington Bridge.
Oh, no, not him. No. I have been in contact with a gentleman that lives, I believe, out in the Arden area. His name is Daniel Gilbert, and he is running for the office of President of the United States. And I think it would be really interesting to hear
Absolutely.
why he wants to run. And number one, I'd like to know how he got in the paperwork filled out to be on board, and will he get to be on the ballot? And that's
And he's not the guy with all the signs around his house and
Is it signs for president?
no, just the signs.
I don't know.
The end times and all that stuff.
No, I listened to him just a few minutes ago on the radio.
Uh-huh.
He's on Matt Matan show.
Have you talked to him yet?
I have talked to one of his assistants.
Okay.
So he has an assistant. So
I heard a few minutes of that myself. He
And-
sounds like a good old Southern boy.
And I hope to get him on. I don't think he's a extreme left or right. He sounds pretty middle of the road kind of guy. So if he wants to come, got my phone here, and the offer's been made, and the assistant said I think they'll take it up because he has very little funds to run for office of the president. So, hey,
Good for
that's,
him.
good.
I-
And great
I've
for
tried-
you. Great for you to run.
Thank you.
If you had to replace one, and maybe this is an unfair question, maybe you may not even want to answer this question, but if you had to replace one person on city council, who would you like to replace?
Well, now only 3 are up for re-election.
Okay,
You
so
mean
that-
of all of them?
Yeah, of all of them, yeah. I think that'd be more in line.
Well, I think the answer would be the same either way. In the last election, we had Holly Jones reelected, and Robin Cape was elected for the first time.
Mhm.
And then between the rest of them, they all selected Brian Freeborn.
Yes.
He did not win.
He did not win.
But he was selected to serve on the to replace Terry Bellamy because she didn't run for re-election as a city council member. She ran for mayor, so she had an open seat. He took that seat, and I would like to see him replaced if no one else.
Okay. I was just curious.
Not just because he was selected. I think that's just a
Okay. I was just curious.
a
Is he
kind of
running
side
this
issue.
time? Is he running this time?
He is up for re-election because he was serving out the
Oh,
remainder of Terry
remainder term.
Bellamy's term,
That's right.
which was
Okay.
4-year term, but he came in the middle of it, and he is up for re-election this year. And I don't think that I'm alone in my desire to see a little bit of diversity on city council.
Okay, and let me ask you the same question that you asked him. If you could see one city council person replaced, do you have one that you think you would like to see replaced?
Well, first of all, I don't live in a city, so I would want that to be known. Probably based on just the views, would probably be Brian Freeborn.
Okay.
Yeah, just Brian Freeborn.
And with me, I would just expect anybody to say Mum Power, hands down. Now let me ask around. What do you? How do you get along with our mayor?
I do. Yes, absolutely. I think she's a good mayor.
Do you agree
she
with
knows
her
me
politics?
by name because I go to all the government meetings and so on.
Do you agree with her politics?
No, I don't.
Don't agree with her politics?
No, but I think she's a reasonable person and she's doing a good job as mayor.
She definitely cares for the city. I obviously we can tell that.
Uh-huh.
Whenever I watch her, I think she cares. She loves Asheville.
Right.
Yeah,
I
she
know
definitely
she
loves
does.
Asheville.
No, I
I
think
don't
we'd
think
be
there's
at
any
a,
question
I think
about
we'd
that.
be at a loss if we lost her. I mean, we'd be at a deficit if we lost her.
All
She's
right.
valuable. I think she's an asset on city council, definitely.
Well, good. I've noticed that she's very assertive, which is actually I'm surprised at how assertive she is and how successful she is at being assertive. And I've not watched a lot of city council meetings because if you want to know the truth, I think city council meetings are some of the most boring things on the face of the earth. If you go to the doctor today and he says you are dying of cancer and you've got a week to live,
That would be more entertaining.
go to city council meeting because every minute is like an eternity.
Oh, okay. There you go.
But
You've been to them, too.
Oh yeah, I've been to them. But I tell you, whenever I enjoy it whenever you have someone on there that is either far left or far right of views, and they have a debate. I think you would probably say Mum Power. I mean, he keeps something to the forefront, whether you agree with the topic or not. But I don't like a council like I see in Weaverville, where I'm from, where no one hardly ever says anything. They all vote normally 5-0. Very rare do I see a mixed vote.
That's right.
And
why do they even? Do you wonder why they bother having the meeting? Didn't they figure that out before they had the? Didn't they have a meeting before they had the meeting?
The way Weaverville does it, just real quick, the meeting's on the third Monday of each month, and on a Thursday afternoon late, a city policeman goes to every council member's house and takes a folder, and it's sealed, and it's got all the information, and all the information they're going to talk about, and it's basically got the follow-ups of the mayor and maybe the town manager's thoughts on it. And so
it's their script.
It's their script.
Which is an indication.
Their script. They deliver the script.
It's a clear indication of how the meeting's going to proceed, what the outcome is going to be before you go in.
And and I'm not picking on the board of council members in Weaverville, because they have been
it's
good.
obvious when you look at the videos. It was your videos that
Have
I
you
watched
it?
that made me know this.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you did.
Okay.
The mayor, when she talks about any ordinance, you'll see her read it. Now, she's a fine lady. She's been good to me. She's complimented me as far as she thought I was coming in to film the council meeting and bring disgrace to the board. And I said, no, I'm just going to show it as is, and I will not, put no scrolls at the bottom and Mickey Mouse ears and so forth. But
It could use some Mickey Mouse.
well, it would make you laugh.
I mean, we get scrolls. We get the scrolls at the bottom here on a good day.
But
on a good day.
But I just don't agree with the way they do that. And real quick, I'm glad you did notice it's scripted. In my opinion, the town manager, since he's the one who sends out those packets, if he waits until late Thursday to send that information out, it could be issues that a council member, when he reads it, he thinks, well, I need to call people. Well, if he knows he can't get a hold of them on Friday, and most council member works, so there's no way of researching what you're going to vote on. So we always see, I would say, a 90% ratio of 5-0, 4-1, which is, I just don't think it's a good council. Now, I'm not saying any particular member Weaverville Town Council. I just like to see a good debate, and at least one person, whether it's left or right or in the center, just don't agree with everything that comes through the pipe. And I don't think they do everything, but I think a lot of it does. But I am so glad you've noticed that, John.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was real. It was a good
Well-
representation. I noticed. See, that's different than the Asheville City Council.
That's
Asheville
right. That's the
City-
point I wanted to make. That
Yeah.
you can say what you want about city council. They have their meetings in public.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
this
they have
is
their
an open
deliberations in
public meeting.
That's
It's
why
an
they're
open
so
meeting.
boring and so long. They go
Mhm.
5 and 6 hours long.
Yeah.
They talk things through.
Yeah. Well, I was told before I ever filmed the first one that maybe I shouldn't film, and it came from a board member there. I shouldn't film the Weaverville Town Council because it was too boring, and I should go to Woodfin where there's more exciting things. And I still have that email if anyone wants to debate that.
You could do both.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you went? I assume you went to the Weaverville City Council meetings before you.
Yes, I did.
And they've not made any changes because you're filming them, right?
No,
That's
no changes.
This is the way it is. They didn't script it because they were being filmed.
I don't think so.
No.
I asked one of the local newspapers there, and he said that's basically a standard procedure that they do.
And I don't mean to say that it's scripted
Entirely.
although, it appears that way. I was just trying to express. I don't mean to say it's scripted. It obviously is not scripted, but it does seem that way.
Well,
Because it seems like the impression I had was that they had the city council meeting the day before the city council meeting, and then they had the public meeting, because it seemed like everything was already decided, and it just they just had to show up in the public eye to say we voted
Just to go
on
through
it.
the motions.
Yeah,
well,
that's what it looked like.
I think the council members probably pick the phone up and talk to each other.
And that's probably not fair for me to say that. There's probably more involved.
But
than
you
that.
got to have if there was more than three, you have a quorum. Is it
Depends
three?
on the size of the body.
Yeah. So I don't know, but they've been good to me. Been decent, let me film in it. Need to work on a better location and for the camera and better audio. I want to tie into their
Need
system.
one of them booms.
Yeah, but it's
they
a
have-
one-man show, though, John.
You can run a boom. One man can run a boom with a camera on the end of it.
But you
I don't
just-
mean
you can plug
I don't
in-
mean for audio. I mean for the camera. A camera boom.
Oh.
You need a camera boom.
You know how much those are.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
you can run from $500.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but I do appreciate that comment. But I hope you succeed.
Yeah, I'm trying to put a hydraulic system in here where we can run camera.
Like the IMA show used to be, they'd have that camera on a track or something. like a
Imus is
roller coaster, and it
history.
would come down. And,
Imus is history. Don't.
no, but I'm talking about his show. He had a good production value on it.
Well, yeah. Well, look at the money put by. How many millions of dollars do you think was put behind that show?
It was very well financed.
Or
I'm
how
sure
many
it was-
millions of
it was
dollars
easy to-
were put
for a
behind
radio
that
show? It was very easy to watch.
Yes, it was. Well, and in a way, I think if this is a radio show, I'm thinking about running some of this. When we get the equipment in here, then we can run DVDs and stuff like that. We can have different backdrops behind us.
Can we?
Well, when we get the video part, we can get the
Yeah.
backdrops behind us. But we can
Green
run.
screen
But it just once we get the audio. See, I can bring in another DVD player, and once I get the other audio set up, it can run 4 microphones, but it can also run audio inputs from other devices as well. So if we wanted to just manually switch over and put the video from a DVD, if we wanted to show a clip or something, we could do it right even without the switcher. It would be a rough switch over, but we could do it. You know what I'm saying?
that'd be
and
okay.
we can do that. So we can bring in stuff from the field and we can show things and all. So if we can just get the mixer in here, that'll make a big difference. You know what I mean?
We can talk about it after the show. As far as how we're going to get it to do that.
Well, I need to go online and write the model number down for the one that I had chose. I chose one. It was a little more expensive, but it has a USB output on it for audio.
Is that through B&H? B&H, which website?
B&H has it, yeah. And but I picked one that had a USB output on it because I hope I'm looking to the future. It's hard to know what the future is gonna bring, but I'm seeing a day where someone may be running a show from their laptop, all right, and where the audio may be coming into the USB port, okay, and the video may be coming into the USB port or into a FireWire on their laptop, okay, and where they may be running a line out of their laptop right into here.
Okay.
See, which is then going to run out there. You see what I mean? So
you could actually run a whole production.
right, and so although the mixer cost a little more, and it wasn't a whole lot more, but it's still worth. I'm looking at $170 mixer. You know, I chose one that had the USB port on it because hopefully I'm looking toward the future, and hopefully.
Well, it gives us that option.
Right.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
outstanding.
Does that seem to make sense?
Absolutely.
And again, it's a guess. I'm guessing what the future is going to bring.
Well, we don't know.
And I'm also guessing by the time the future gets there that the USB port will be obsolete. But what do? You do the best you can. And you hope that it'll stay with us for a while, at least, that our audio will run through USB ports.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Or FireWire ports, something. But this thing has a USB on it, so.
Where does the Libertarian Party stand right now in Buncombe County? Is there a Libertarian Party, and can they be on the ballot box? Reason I'm asking you that is I recall Matt Matan talking about it, that the Libertarian Party cannot be on the vote whenever you get ready to vote on,
That's
on
right.
the ballot. So
That's correct.
So how are you going to have
Well,
to?
the Libertarian Party has an organization here in the state, and we also have a Libertarian organization here in Buncombe County, just like the Democrats do, and the Republicans have their Buncombe County GOP, and the Libertarians have their little Buncombe County Libertarian Party and their group. But the state of North Carolina will not allow any third parties on their ballots.
Why?
And that's because they require that you requalify if you do not have a certain turnout. If you do not meet that threshold, there's a threshold that if you do not meet that threshold in terms of turnout for people who are registered in your party to vote, then you have to requalify. And to do that, you have to raise like 20,000 signatures, or a certain percentage.
Yes, a percentage
of your turnout, or a certain percentage of your registered, a certain percentage of the previous turnout on a petition in order to re-qualify to get on the ballot. And that's a very high threshold to meet. I mean, you can argue whether or not it's fair, but the truth is...
Well, let's argue whether or not it's fair. I think it's not fair. What do you think?
I think it's not fair. I think that that law, that there should be no interference by state government in party politics.
So what do you think? Do you think it's fair, or do you think it's not fair?
Not fair.
Not fair. Okay, there's three of us. Not fair. It's not fair.
I think if you want to run...
It's not fair.
Now, we don't mean to turn this Mad Scientist Tea Party into a political forum now.
I know, but it wasn't that way till you started showing. Now you got to admit that if there's anybody who's come here that has politicized it any more than I have, it would be you.
Probably so.